Hello and welcome to Baking with Nonna at the Davenport Public Library. I am so glad that you could join me in my kitchen today. Today we are going to make little itty bitty cheesecake pies, which is much easier to bake or to put together than it is to say. So, the first thing that we want to do, as always, is read through the instructions and make sure that we have all the ingredients gathered up before we get started. So for this recipe, we need 1 package of filo cups. I'm going to use these pre-made ones. You can just buy the box of them and then you can fill them. You could also use, there's some that come, there's mini filo cups that you can buy frozen that you just bake in the oven for a little bit and you can use those. Or you could make them from scratch. So however you get your filo cups are fine. We need 8 ounces of cream cheese softened. So 8 ounces is 1 box. So you need 1 box of cream cheese. We need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. We have our sugar. And we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We have our vanilla. And then we need some fruit. Whatever is your fruit of choice. I'm going to spin this just a little bit so you can see my counter. There. Okay. So we have strawberries and we have blackberries. So we will use a combination of those two on our little mini pies. Okay. So the first thing that our recipe calls for is to take our little filo cups and remove them and put them on a plate. So, easy enough, we can do that. So we'll take our cups and we'll lay them out. So far, it's pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, once we have our cups out, we can put that aside. So we'll just set that right up there. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is combine the cream cheese, the sugar, and the vanilla. So we take our little mixing bowl, and we take our cream cheese, and you want it to be soft enough that you'll be able to mix it easily. This is the part that always takes me the longest time, is opening the packages. Okay, so once we get our package open, we can plop that right into the bowl. Okay, and now we need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now the thing about cups, if your kitchen is like my kitchen, you have a 1/4 cup, and you have a 1/3 cup, you have a 1/2 cup, and you have a 1 cup. So you do not have, you probably don't have a 3/4 of a cup. You might have, if you do, go ahead and use it. I do not have in my kitchen a 3/4 of a cup. So there are a number of different ways that you can do that. Sometimes your 1 cup measure will have lines in it that tell you 1/4 or a 1/2 or 3/4. Mine does not. So 3/4 of a cup is actually 1/2 plus 1/4. 1/2 of a cup is 2/4, right? So 2/4 and 1/4 is 3/4. So if you want to, you can use both of these to get your 3/4 of a cup. I am going to use my 1/4 of a cup 3 times. So then I will have 3 1/4s. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I only have to wash one measuring cup. So we'll just put that right in the bowl with our cream cheese. That's 2. And sometimes sometimes your sugar gets a little bit lumpy. And that's okay, because when you stir it, all the lumps will come out. Another way that you can keep your sugar from getting too hard is to put a piece of bread into your sugar bin. Okay, and we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Remember, that's the one that's 1 TSP. So we'll go ahead and put our vanilla in there. And now we're ready to stir it up. And to stir it up, you can use a handheld mixer, or you can use your wire whisk, or your it doesn't have to be a wire whisk, just your regular whisk, your silicone whisk. I'm going to use a fork just because it's Nonna's kitchen and I tend to mix everything with a fork. So whatever works for you. And we're basically just folding all the sugar into this cream cheese. Now if we were to make a real cheesecake, at this point we could add, instead of sugar, we could add sweetened condensed milk and mix it all up. And that makes a fantastic cheesecake. How are you doing with your mixing? Tell you what, I'll give you some time to get the mixing done, and then we will come back and we will pipe it into our cups. Okay, did you pause me and finish your mixing? Perfect. How's it looking? Is it nice and smooth? Here's what mine looks like. Okay, once you get it to the desired consistency and you feel like everything is all mixed up, we're going to put it in a baggie. So you can get out a baggie. I'm using a quart size. And we're just going to cut off one of the corners. So we'll cut that off. And we're going to use this as a piping bag. So the next step is to get your dough, your cream cheese into this bag. I'm going to use a spoon. You can do this with frosting too if you're making cupcakes and you want to frost your cupcakes, or if you're making cookies and you want to pipe frosting onto your cookies. It's the same idea as a pastry bag. So if you've done any cake decorating classes, a lot of times you'll have a specialized tip and then a pastry bag. So this is just the same idea as a pastry bag. Okay, once you get your dough in there, it's going to be kind of messy, and that's okay. And if you think that as you were putting it in there, you noticed that there was still some sugar or some vanilla that wasn't all the way mixed in, you can kind of play with it. Just if you're going to play with it, make sure that you have closed off this open end, or you're going to have a big mess all over your counter. Okay. Now, to fill your filo cups and make your little itty bitty mini cheesecake pies, you just start squeezing your dough toward the end. See how it's almost to the end of my bag there? And then you squeeze it into your cup. And you'll do that with all of your little filo cups. See how that looks? There's another one. You might be able to make them prettier than me. So go ahead and fill all of your cups, and then we'll talk about toppings. How did you do? Did you get all of your little pies filled? If you have leftovers in the bag, leftover cream cheese, you can use it for whatever you generally use cheesecake for, or you can save it. You can put it in their fridge and it will save for a while, and you can use it to put on cupcakes or cookies later if you want a cream cheese frosting. Okay, so but for a little mini pies, and here's what mine look like. The next step is to put toppings on them. We have today, like I said, I have the strawberries and blackberries. So there is a little blackberry pie. And we have a little strawberry pie. You can put whatever you would like on it. You could put, if you like pineapple, you could make it a cheesecake pineapple pie. You could put chocolate. You could drizzle chocolate or caramel, like ice cream topping on it. You could put candy on it. You could put whatever you prefer on your special cheesecake. Enjoy!